Hi and welcome to the Running Channel monthly show brought to you by our friends at Wiggle.
We were so overwhelmed by the lovely comments you all posted on our very first episode last month, as well as all the wonderful feedback on things we could do better, which we have taken on board. So we are back. Hang on, Anna. They've actually let us do it again.
I'm not really sure they had much choice, Rick. Anyway, you're stuck with us for the next half an hour or so settle in and enjoy. As well as the fun stuff, we've got a giveaway, which you'll need to watch till the end for. And Wiggle also wants to offer you, the Running Channel viewers, 15% off their new season running range. So if that's up your street, head to the link in the description.
And a special shout out to Adam Souza, who posted this comment. Rick, you're looking very trim. Anyway, here's what's coming up. First up, let's take a look at some of the new product launches for this month. So first is Under Armour's new shoe, the Flow Velocity Wind, a neutral shoe which uses Under Armour's flow cushioning system. There's no rubberized outsole, which makes this an incredibly light and comfortable shoe, especially for sessions like your long runs or easy runs. The shoe has the Under Armour Bluetooth sensor that's embedded in the midsole, which tracks, analyzes, and stores running metrics like distance, pace, split, cadence, and stride length. They can all link up to the Map My Run app, and if you run with your phone connected to them and you're wearing headphones, you get the on-the-go prompts about your cadence.
Bet that blows your mind, does it, Rick?
That absolutely blows my mind that there's something in a shoe sole.
Next up is the brand new Ultra Boost from Adidas. So the Ultra Boost 21 has a redesigned torsion system, which in simpler terms is an outsole component that's been a mainstay in performance Adidas models since 1988. That was nearly when I was born. It's a thermoplastic arch support designed to allow the forefoot and rear foot to move independently and adapt to running surfaces without straining the foot. So Adidas also say that their Boost technology adds 6% more Boost pellets through an exaggerated heel curve in this model, which gives you added energy return. So these are a bit heavier than their previous iterations, which is noticeable when you pick them up. But overall, this is a shoe built for your long runs to give you the right balance of comfort and performance.
New Balance released their upgrade to the 1080 series with the V11 at the start of this month. Now, overall, there haven't been that many changes to the V10 except for a few tweaks to the upper. The 10 saw a lot of upgrades from the 9, which were well received. So it's unsurprising, really, that New Balance haven't made too many changes. It's a relatively light daily training shoe that focuses on decent mileage and some faster paces. A good model for those of you targeting a marathon this year.
If you saw our sustainable and ethical shoe roundup video, you might remember the Veja Condor, which is made from 53% recycled materials. Well, now they've launched the second iteration of the shoe, which they say they've improved from the first version based on feedback from runners. So it uses the same materials, including naturally sticky Amazonian rubber in the outsole, which helps fight deforestation. The shoe is aimed at long runs, easy runs, and recovery sessions, so it's a bit of an all-rounder, really.
In the world of tech, Garmin have launched a brand new watch aimed at ultra runners. The Enduro has trail-specific features and extreme battery life.
And finally, on the new releases for February, some updates that have come to Strava this month, which you might have noticed. GPS activities for athletes now automatically pull the location into the activity details to make it easier to see where activities are in the world without having to click into the activity map and zoom out. And all of those of you doing indoor workouts at home won't have the location shown on your activity. Speaking of home workouts though, you can now use the Strava app direct to record a number of different non-GPS activities, like our very own Running Channel home workouts and Manni's awesome physio follow-alongs. It'll show you your elapsed time and your heart rate data if you're wearing a heart rate monitor, instead of the distance and pace that you'd normally see for an outdoor activity with GPS.
Next up, it's time for a bit of running news, where we take you through some news highlights from this month.
Now, it might be 2021, but all eyes are still on the 2020 Olympics and whether they'll be able to go ahead this year. Japan is determined that they will, even if it means without spectators. The Tokyo Olympic Organising Committee is looking at lots of different scenarios of how the Games could go ahead and are expected to come to a decision on this by the end of spring. Now, whilst this would be a first for the Olympics not to happen, we've seen it across lots of other sporting disciplines. So football and rugby stadiums have been empty of spectators while the matches still take place, and crowd noise has been added to the footage so it doesn't sound so silent when you're watching at home on TV. Still a bit weird though. So if there are no spectators and you went to a previous Olympics, listen out and you might hear yourself cheering. I might be on one of those recordings from London 2012.
Not sure that's quite how it works. Next up, British cyclist Tom Pidcock, who this month went out and tried to break 15 minutes for a 5k. Not only did he smash this target, but he went even quicker and finished in 13 minutes and 25 seconds, only 5 seconds off the British record. Now, he captioned his Instagram photo of the attempt, "Apparently, this is very quick." Well, Tom, the Running Channel are very happy to confirm. In fact, this is very quick. Much like with the Ross Barkley 5k that was debunked last year after people took a look at the footballer's elapsed time on Strava, people did swarm over the post and started digging into the Strava data from Tom Pidcock's 5k attempt. Questions over heart rate data and the date of the attempt have also been raised, as it shows up in December on Strava. Pidcock did say this was due to not having worn his watch for a while. So the question remains, is it time for Tom Pidcock to swap the bike for the running track? Let us know in the comments what you think about this.
And finally, this month saw the long-awaited London Marathon ballot results come in. Did you manage to get a place, or did you get a virtual place instead? Well, if you did, you could end up taking part in the biggest London Marathon ever. London Marathon are going for another record-breaking attempt this year and are aiming to have 50,000 runners on the streets of London, with a further 50,000 people taking part virtually from wherever they are in the world on Sunday the 3rd of October. Fingers crossed it's safe to go ahead, as it'll be so lovely to see a mass participation event this year.
Let us know in the comments if there are any running news stories you think we should feature in our next monthly show. Next up, over to our pal Manni in the physio room to answer your questions all about running injuries.
Welcome to the physio room. I'm Manni, the Running Channel resident physiotherapist, and I'll be here every month to answer your questions about common running injuries and how to improve your running through strength and conditioning. If you're struggling with a particular type of injury, we would encourage you to go and speak to a medical professional in person, as we can't diagnose your individual problems. However, there are plenty of common injuries we can talk about and hopefully help you with. Paul got in touch with us and asked, I run every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday are 5k runs with a strength session after the run. And Tuesday, Thursday, longer runs. Sunday, I run 10k with a 10k bike ride. At the moment, I have no injuries, but in your opinion, do I need a rest day? What I would say to everybody is rest days are essential. What happens on a rest day? It supplements your performance. It supplements your training. You absorb all of those good things you've done out there on the road or on your treadmill or on the trails. Rest allows our body to restore some of the hormone balances. Rest is essential. The way we can reframe rest is to think about it like part of your training schedule. It's training. Rest is training. So when you're sleeping, when you're relaxing, you are training. Your body is restoring some of your muscles in terms of repairing. And actually, some people can have improved performance by resting. So I would say, Paul, I would put in a rest day somewhere in there. One day where you can just rest. Rest is different for everybody. There are different types of rest. There's physical rest, but also there's psychological rest. Rest also needs to be supplemented with nutrition. Rest has different components to it. So if you have a rest day and your brain is being stimulated, that may not actually seem like a rest day. And that's important for you to remember. If your rest day is stressful, you may not get the full benefits. If you want to ask me how to rest efficiently and how to rest best, I would say try not to think about the sport. Try not to think about your next training. Rest means that you move away from training and you just relax. Spend time with your friends, your loved ones, your family. Watch a film. Try and eat the best way you can. Doesn't mean it's about gluttony, because if you start putting in the wrong fuel on your rest day, you won't get the right repair. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
Cheers, Manni. And if you have a question for him that you would like answered in next month's show, email physio@therunningchannel.com. Stay tuned because we still have loads coming up for you, including us answering your questions in Ask TRC and Kate putting Rick and I to shame, probably, as she tackles the Treadmill Challenge with Zwift. Next though, Challenge Rick!
Dun dun dun!
So Rick, as you know, every month we are challenging you to try something new in the world of running. Last month, the ice bath. You guys loved Rick's ice bath, him not so much. This month, it's the turn of the X belt.
You know, I do love a challenge, but this does seem a touch ridiculous.
Go on, off you go. Put it to the test.
It's challenge time. I wonder what it's going to be this month. So I've got this package and I'm waiting for a message from the producers. An email this time. How avant-garde. What next month? Pigeon post? Any road. Rick, this month we'd like to test your coordination. Open up the package. Inside is the X belt, a resistance belt that allows you to work out your upper body whilst on a run. We challenge you to go on a run and use the X belt. Report back to us on what you think. First though, Olympic athlete and sprinter Conrad Williams has put together some warm-up drills for you. Hello.
Okay, the alternative high knee switch, that's a toughie. This thing burns calories, burns. And it's probably very good for improving your coordination. If, like me, you don't have great coordination, maybe it'll help. Can't get any worse anyway. Right, time for high knees. Knee switch. Oh. It's time to skip C. C skips. This is borderline impossible for someone with no coordination. Okay, I can't do C skips. I can't do C skips. So one thing that you notice when you're out on a run is that your upper body is doing a lot more work. Now I've gone for the blue bands today, but you can get them in red, which are a little bit less resistant, and they go all the way up to black. These ones have got a resistance of about 20 pounds. Don't fancy the black ones. I was freezing cold when I started out today, but I tell you what, the belt makes you warm up a lot quicker than normal compared to a normal jog or a normal run. You definitely feel it. And the amount of different muscles you're using knackers you out. It's good though.
Okay, so I just got back from my run and the first thing I noticed is how much more energy I burnt. I feel like I've been to the gym. Fresh biceps though, coming to a Running Channel video near you soon.
As predicted, ridiculous. I just don't think I have the coordination for it. In fact, what you didn't see on camera was quite a lot of the neighbours on either side looking out the window, basically checking if I was okay. Because the leg kicks and the thrusts up and down the middle, they didn't quite see the camera, it was just out of shot. So, yeah, emotional.
What a treat for your lovely neighbours. I'm so sorry. You're a good sport though, Rick. If you've got a challenge that you want Rick to do next month, then make sure you leave your suggestions in the comments.
Okay, this is actually my favourite bit of this show, especially as I don't have to do any real running. It's Ask TRC. Want to know something about the presenters, or maybe you've got a training question? Maybe you just want to know a running fact? Well, email asktrc@therunningchannel.com and your question could be read out next month. First up, it's Nick Baker, who asks, how do I maintain my normal speeds when it's so cold? I'm currently finding it really tough to complete runs in the time I was a month or two ago when it was slightly milder. Should I change my warm-up, or do I need to work on things like breathing technique? Anna.
Great question, Nick. And if you're in the UK or pretty much anywhere in the world where temperatures get very cold, it's been really chilly here lately, then you'll probably find that running is a lot harder when it is colder. So I guess be a bit kind to yourself, go a bit easy, and try and run to effort rather than your pace. So if you're going out for an easy run, make sure that it feels easy when you're running, and you know, your pace might be a lot slower than you're used to, and that's absolutely fine. So give yourself a bit of a break. But overall, if you're getting out and it's cold, then good for you.
Damn right. Good on you, Nick. Keep running.
Okay, so Scott Burrell wants to know, if you could run any major race that you've not ran yet, which would you choose and why?
I've got two. So first, the one where you go to France and get drunk for a week.
Marathon de Medoc.
Yeah, that
for
one.
For a week?
Is it a week?
No,
I know
it's a marathon.
There's a sweep up the back, but I think it's actually a JCB, isn't it, that comes and picks you up if you don't make a certain time. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think there is a sweep.
No, I think you've got to make a certain time on this French marathon where you have actually got to keep going at a certain pace.
Okay.
But you've got to, drink and enjoy yourself and have a great party on the way around.
What's the other one?
The other one I'd like to do is I'd love to do the Honolulu Marathon in Hawaii, which happens on the second Sunday in December. Goes around Waikiki and all of Honolulu. I would just love to do that. Sign me up, send me down.
For me, it would be the Tarawera 100 in New Zealand. So it actually took place earlier this month. It's in Rotorua. The scenery is stunning. There's some amazing documentaries about people who've run it as well, actually. Check them out on our documentaries list. It looks beautiful. 100-miler.
Izzy Day wants to know, how much time would you estimate an average Joe would need to go from beginner to completing a marathon?
Or Josephine.
True. Now, why don't we do this on back of a parkrun token kind of mathematics?
Instead of back of a beer mat.
Yep,
got it.
So, I would suggest if you go, say, starting in January, say that was 3 times a week times 4.2, then we're getting to 13. In February, if you up that to 2 hours a week, you're probably talking about 26 hours. Add that to 13, that's 39. If you go to March and you up that again to 4 hours, you're talking 4 times 4.3, which is 39 plus 19.3. So that's 39 plus 20 minus 0.7 equals 59.7. 59.7 plus you got 2 weeks in March and then in April, then you're tapering. So that's 70 hours. So actually it's only about 3 days.
I wondered, 3 days total of
actual running.
Your maths better be right, because I'm terrible at maths, so I've not been able to pick you up on that. But there will be comments below if you have not got that right. To give you a better answer that's maybe more helpful, Izzy, when I did my first marathon, and I don't know about you, Rick, but I gave myself 4 months and basically went from couch to marathon in 4 months.
Wow. Yours is well longer than mine. Mine was like a couple of days.
No, but you're talking about total running time.
Yes.
But obviously you need time to put that running in.
And you need to rest and relax in between.
Exactly.
So I think it's possible, but don't get overwhelmed with the timescales.
No.
Because actually, it's a lot less.
And also, everyone's different, and it depends where your level of fitness is to start with, and what you're used to, and how much time you can commit to the training, and what your goal is. So hopefully, I've given you some kind of answer to that question. If you want your question answered by us,
I mean, do you?
by us, I mean me, with some funnies from Rick, then email them to asktrc@therunningchannel.com and we could feature your question next month. Next up, the Treadmill Challenge with Zwift.
So last month, Anna and I started the leaderboard for the Treadmill Challenge. Obviously, I won. So this month, it's time for TRC presenter Kate Carter to put us to shame and show us how it's done. Although it does depend on her running knowledge. I've been on a few virtual quizzes with her over lockdown and I have a feeling she's pretty good.
Yeah, the rules are as follows. Each competitor will start at their marathon pace on the treadmill and will have to answer questions all about running. Once the question has finished being read out, you have 5 seconds to answer. If you don't answer or answer it incorrectly, you will have 1 kilometre per hour added to the treadmill speed. Good luck, Kate.
Okay, perfect. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. First question. Finish this film title. The Barkley Marathons, the race that eats...
Lives?
No, incorrect. Put the speed up. Question number 2. Who won gold in the 100 metres at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio?
Usain Bolt.
Correct. What is running pace?
What, sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah. What is running pace?
What is running pace?
Yeah.
The speed at which you're running.
Yeah, correct.
Name the 41-year-old runner who finished 5th in the 5,000 metres at the 2016 Olympic Games. Quick, you're running out of time.
God. American.
Too slow. Put the speed up.
How many joints are in a human foot?
How many joints?
Yeah.
10.
No, incorrect. It's 33. Put the speed up.
God.
What is the slowest animal in the world?
Me? No. Sloth.
Correct. Who won Olympic gold medals in the 10,000 metre race in both 1972 and 1976?
72, 76. Can't think.
Okay, put the speed up. What year was the first London Marathon?
1983.
Incorrect, 81. Who recently wrote the book How to Run a Marathon?
Oh God, I don't know. Vassos?
Yeah, correct. The Panda Trail from the UTMB has 4 different distances. How long is the longest distance in this event?
120 miles.
Incorrect, it's only 100. Put the speed up.
I'm done. Oh, that was pathetic. Oh my word. Oh, terrible knowledge. That was really hard. Apparently my brain does not work when I'm running. Probably explains quite a lot about how hard it is to do maths when you're running. Couldn't remember any athletics questions, weirdly, and yet the ones I thought I would have guessed I would get wrong, I got right, so go figure.
So, Kate, that was the Treadmill Challenge with Zwift. How did you find it?
Well, I actually really loved it.
Terrible at the trivia, but I really loved running on the treadmill. I loved using Zwift, actually.
Good, glad you liked it. So do you want to know your time?
I'm sure it was terrible, but yes.
So with a time of 2 minutes and 28 seconds, that puts you in second place behind Rick. Very good, silver medal.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Although if I'd known I was so close to Rick, I obviously would have clung on somehow just to beat him.
Yeah, the rivalry is real.
Oh, yeah.
So do let us know in the comments below who you want to see take on the treadmill challenge with Zwift next.
Oh, still top of the leaderboard. Incredible.
We're never going to hear the end of
I
this.
can't believe that. She okay? She must be. And just to think, I had that comment from Dave last month. Said I wasn't a serious runner. Not a serious runner, Dave. You having a laugh? You watching that, mate? My God. Tell you what, I'm a serious runner on a Friday night when I'm running to get a curry. Tell you that.
Amazing. I cannot believe that I am now bottom of the leaderboard. Again. I always come bottom. I mean, I'm not a serious runner, obviously, as well.
Oh, you are a serious runner as
well,
well.
not according to Dave. Anyway, right. Now, it is finally time to head over to our miles and kilometres segment. So those of you who are familiar with the blog section of our website will recognise these quick fire running questions. And this month, it's turn of friend of the running channel, Vassos Alexander.
Vassos is an ultra runner, author, sports broadcaster, and generally just an all-round lovely bloke. Over to you.
Miles every time, but I sort of think I'm wrong. I used to, and both my first 2 running books were song titles. And I used to listen to music the whole time, and I've sort of stopped over the last 5 or 6 years. I sort of enjoy the run more without, and I know it sounds very kind of, but without music kind of sullying the experience. But my wife only runs with music. Time every time. Tights, no. Tights are just a no, especially for blokes. I just think tights are a no. My key recovery technique is not running, but I don't do it very often. Difficult. I'd like to do a Bob Graham round this year. I was meant to be in Comrades last year and UTMB last year, which obviously got cancelled, so if those go ahead. But it's just difficult. It's difficult to train for stuff when you don't know what stuff is there to train for. I don't need to. I love it. It's a treat. Even when my legs are heavy and it's cold outside and it's raining and it's like a sort of day like today, it's horrible. You know, running is a treat, even if I'm finding it tough. So I don't need to motivate. I'm lucky like that. My son, Matthew, is, what's today, the 8th of Feb. So he's 7, I don't know if he's run today, but he's 7 days into Red February. And good on him. He was sort of struggling with motivation to run, and he thought, right, well, if I just take away the question, will I run today, and run every day in February, and he's done it. One evening he went out at 9:30 because he realised he'd forgotten his run that day. So well done. Matthew is inspiring me. I would say either crossing the finishing line in London when the clock said 2 at the top, because that was many years in the making, but maybe finishing, there's an ultra race in Greece called the Spartathlon, which is 150 odd miles long. It wasn't really running across the finishing line, you touch a statue, and that was just the whole town out to applaud you. That was really great. Open water swimming. I love it. It's got the same sort of naturalness as running. I've been in the Thames 2 or 3 times a week, all through this winter. I love the cold, I love the swimming. Talking about training for something, I want to swim the Channel as well this year. So yeah, it would be open water swimming. And honestly, I love it so much. I miss running, but not all that much.
Wow, I would love to swim the Channel as well. I've actually thought about it before, but
Really?
I'm not really too keen on the jellyfish situation.
Are there a lot?
Yeah, loads. Ross Edgley, watch his documentary stuff. He swam around Great Britain.
Right, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I've got a
yeah.
month. And we told you to keep watching for the giveaway. We've got another chance for you to win a Wiggle gift voucher, redeemable wherever you are in the world. Big well done to you, Ines de Vos, who was the winner from January's show. All you need to do to be in with a chance of winning this month is to head to the competition link in the description box of this video and answer a question about this episode.
So that is it for another bumper monthly show from the Running Channel. Thank you so much, as ever, for watching, and we'll see you next time.